Guys, I mean, this series with Cornell, I mean, you're expecting a physical series, but how important is it with the bigger ice surface? Is that going to be a factor? Is it going to be less physical or more physical up there? Start with Matt.
It's tough to say. They're a real physical team, and I'm sure regardless of what rank they're playing on, they're going to be a physical team. We try and do that as well. Obviously, with a little bit of extra room, you might have a little bit of extra time, but it's not something that we're banking on or anything like that. So, like Coach always says, the game between the dots is still the same. So that's what we're going to be focusing on.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing Matt said. We talk about the difference between the game between the dots and the game outside the dots, and we want to be playing between the dots all night. So that's what we're focused on going into Friday, and it's going to kind of try to stick with that.
Yeah, on a bigger sheet, you get a little bit more time out there, and I guess the time to escape some hits. But they're usually pretty good at finishing their checks all over the ice, so I'll expect to be just as physical.
Talk about the importance going into this weekend of playoff experience. The two of you have been through it for 4 years now, Max a few years, and all of you have excellent postseason statistics. Talk about the difference between regular season and a weekend like this, and how much you think experience might help.
I think the biggest difference between the regular season and once you're in the tournaments here, it's just one game and you could be done. So I think guys in the past have done a real good job of keeping that in perspective, not putting too much weight on just one game, but realizing that your season could be done at any moment. So there's important games and they're just a lot of fun. So we just go out there, we've prepared well, we stuck to our process all year. So that's all we can ask for.
I just think the biggest thing going into these tournaments is just to focus on playing. There's obviously being the regional or the conference championships, there's a lot of distractions going on, and I think for us, we're just trying to focus on what we have to do to get ready to play. And I think as long as we stick to that, things will go well.
Just a little bit more publicity going from the regular season to a playoff game, but it's just another hockey game, and we're pretty good at keeping a level head about it. So.
Matt, late in the season, Coach Bennett switched up the defensive pairings. You had been playing with Charlie as a term for most of the year, and then last year, and you played a little bit with Sebastian Jinger after Charlie went down with the injury. How were you surprised by the change? I mean, how well have you adapted playing with Sebastian?
I wouldn't say I was surprised by it. We got a pretty deep defensive core. I think Charlie on that other pairing there just gives us a little bit more stability. It's fun playing with both those guys. Jiggy does a real good job going back, getting pucks, and I feel like we've had some chemistry of late. So I think we've adjusted well to it.
Playing with him during the stretch run last year in the playoffs, did that help a little bit when you got paired up with him again this year?
Yeah, he's got a lot of talent, and being able to get to know some of his tendencies and just kind of remembering from last year some of his tendencies. I think when we were put together here, we clicked right away. So I think it was beneficial last year playing with him, and then being put back together with him this year.
You talk about leadership, setting the example. Dan, the other night, Saturday, both the first two goals I thought were hustle plays. You had the turnover at the blue line, then the goal diving toward the crease. Talk about the extra sense of urgency when it comes time to playoffs, and as Matt said, it's one game or out, and how that might lend down to some of the younger guys on the team.
I think kind of at the end of the year here, we learned a lot our first couple of years here from guys like Brock Matheson, Jeremy Walsh, Nolan Joltis-White, Kelly Zajac, those guys there. They kind of showed us the way on this, and how at the end of the year it takes everybody. I mean, it's not just one guy leading. It's 20 guys dressed that night leading, and that's what it takes at the end of the year. So I think we need everybody buying in, and I think this past weekend we had that for the most case, but I think that's just going to have to keep getting better every weekend going forward here.
For Dan, how much motivation do you have knowing you could be the first team in almost 40 years to three-peat?
I don't know if that's necessarily one of the things that's on our mind. I think we're more just focused on Friday with Cornell and what we have to do to get ready to play them. We talk about all year just sticking with the process, and I think that's just one of those things that comes with it. But you just got to focus on the next game.
What is it about Cornell that concerns you?
to just go with how hard they play. It's always a dogfight wherever we play them. They're a real physical team, so we're expecting a hard-fought game. And looking at their scores over last week, and it's a pretty low-scoring affair. So they're not going to give you much offensively. So really got to tighten up your end defensively. So can't go chance for chance with a team like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they got a big team, a fast team, a skilled team. So we got to be ready to go, and we just got to. But I think at the same time, just got to focus on what we have to do to be ready to play. Like I said before, just stick with the process and worry about what we have to do to get ready for Friday night.
Yeah, they're a big physical team, but they have a bunch of skill on their team as well. And it seems whether it's in the ECAC or the NCAA tournament, towards the end of the year, they're always playing their best hockey. So we'll have to come out and play union hockey.
So